Good evening to you. तो पढ़ाई कैसे चल रहा है? But so some more forms of communication. Notification. This form is used to notifying promulgation of statutory rules and orders, appointments and promotions of certain categories of officers, etc. through publications in Gazette of India. The composition of Gazette, the types of matter to be published in each part and section thereof, the instructions for sending the matter for publication therein already shared. हम ऑफिस प्रोसीजर में ये गैजेट नोटिफिकेशन के बारे में देख चुके हैं, कौन सा सेक्शन में कौन सा पार्ट में होना चाहिए, and who should sign the draft that is sent to the press for printing, etc. We have already seen. Now practical notification. Notification कैसे भेजा जाता है? That is in connection with the gazetted officers, leave sanctioned to the GOs, promotions, transfers, taking over, handing over, all these are published in Gazette of India. And for this purpose, we may get a question. Very rarely we get a question, but nevertheless, it is possible we may get a question and we should be prepared for that. Because once such a question is there, it will be very easy to answer because it is not a very lengthy one like resolution, etc. Just like resolution, you have to write at the top. A DFA to likhte hain, you have to write a DFA thereafter to be published in Gazette of India, part dash, section dash, bracket close. Thereafter, there is no number. The difference between the resolution and the notification, in the notification, initially you don't write the number. You will start with Government of India, Bharat Sarkar, Department of such and such, dash Vibhag, New Delhi, the date. Thereafter, notification. Number comes here. And you don't leave any space to start with. So you will write at the margin, number dash. Thereafter, she so-and-so, this is a leave. This is Sri so-and-so, Under Secretary in the Department of so-and-so is appointed to officiate as promotion order. As Deputy Secretary in that department, whereas Sri so-and-so transferred to a department of such and such. किसी का promotion order के बारे में एक notification है. It is to be signed ABC, whoever has to sign, that will be there. Otherwise, you can use your discretion and you can write. Then thereafter, email address or a telephone number. Then two addresses here. It is sent to the press. The manager, Government of India Press, Bharat Sarkar Press, then Minto Road, New Delhi. आपको पता है कौन सा notification or gazette notification. It should be sent to Minto Road. Which one? To the other, Mayapuri. Copy forwarded information like this. So this will be the last communication where I'll be giving homework. So after the class, there will be a homework, just attempt that. Okay. Then another form of communication, that is, it's a form, it is very much there in the MOP, but we have never got a question on this endorsement. This form is used when a paper has to be returned in original to the sender, or the paper in original or a copy is sent to another department or office for information or action. Just you are forwarding this for their information, or whatever action required, information and necessary action. It is also used when a copy of, suppose no action may be filed. ऐसा कुछ mark किया जाता है. So in such cases, if it has to go to somebody else, then you will forward like this. It is also used when a copy of a communication is proposed to be forwarded to parties other than the one to which it is addressed. एक तो address ही ABC को address है, लेकिन copy has to go to XYZ. So in that case, you will endorse a copy. That is endorsement. Normally, this form will not be used in communicating copies to state governments. Endorsement is not a form to be used for sending copies to state governments. अगर ऐसा ही एक पेपर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भेजना है तो you will have to use the form of letter, not to be used in communicating copies to state governments, statutory or constitutional bodies. The appropriate form for such communication is letter. An endorsement में ऐसा number, date वगैरह है, thereafter date. Then a copy of the paper mentioned below is forwarded for information and necessary action. So इसमें list of papers here नीचे दिया हुआ है. Then here, ABC under secretary to the government of India. Then this is a endorsement. Normally, you don't expect a question on endorsement. Then email, fax, speed post, registered post, telephonic communication, etc. These are all given in the MOP as forms of communication. Actually, these are not forms of communication. Of course, you can take email as form of communication, but not all. Because fax, suppose you type out a letter, maybe an ordinary letter or office memorandum or a DO letter, and fax it. It's only mode of dispatch, not it's a form of communication. Like that, speed post. That means it is only mode of communication. That is, kaisa isko bheja jata hai. And that is method of communicating. This is speed post. This is also not form of communication. Then registered post, it is also like that. You are sending a letter, you are sending a message, you are sending a note, anything through registered post. It is mode of dispatch, not a form of communication. Telephonic communication, it is almost oral, unless decided to dictate a message over telephone. So this is also not called a form of communication. Only email is form of communication. इसमें from address आपको type करने का कोई जरूरत नहीं है, आपका address उसी में आ जाएगा. Then to address you will have to write. Then thereafter, if you want to mark copies, to, that is carbon copy to CC, ऐसा करके किसी को mark कर सकते हैं. Suppose you are marking a copy to somebody, then others won't know. So that is BCC, blind carbon copy. ऐसा भी mark किया जाता है. Appropriate use of medium of telephonic message may be made by department for interdepartmental consultation and for communication of information between parties situated locally and in matters of urgency with the outstation offices. This is about telephonic communication. Then telephonic communications, wherever necessary, may be followed by written. Yes, this has been there from the days of telegram. आजकल telegram is not a form of communication. We don't use telegram ही खत्म कर दिया गया है. इसलिए telephonic message telephone द्वारा communicate किया जाता है. There is a possibility जो बोलने वाले ठीक से communicate ना करें और सुनने वाला ठीक से नहीं सुने. ये दोनों हो सकता है. The bearer may occur at the point of sending or point of receiving. तो इसलिए it should be followed by a written copy. जिससे आप देखकर पढ़ते हैं उसी को ये कॉपी एंडोर्स करके वो भेज सकते हैं. That is telephonic communication. Then email. CC stands for carbon copy. BCC stands for blind carbon copy. Just like CC, BCC is a way of sending copies of an email to other people. The difference between the two is that while you can see a list of recipients when CC is used, आप CC copy mark करेंगे, then other people जिसको ये copy गया है, this message has gone to the which person, the other person, that other addresses, that can be known. Whereas BCC, it's not. That's not the case with the BCC. It is called so because the other recipients won't be able to see that someone else has been sent a copy of the mail. ये नहीं पता है औरों को. Then ईमेल अभी तक कोई क्वेश्चन अभी तक पूछा नहीं है. पूछने से कोई दिक्कत नहीं है because there is a from address, there is a to address that should be given to you. अगर नहीं है तो you yourself can put ABC. ऐसा करके then it will be in telegraphic language, a proper form. Dear sir, dear madam, वो सब नहीं होता है ये email communication में. Straight away start the message and end. Minutes, one or two questions have come in on minutes. So you have to familiarize with the minutes. A record of discussions is prepared immediately after. ये क्या होता है? Whenever a meeting is called by your department, then either an undersecretary or a section officer is given the responsibility of taking down notes. Suppose your additional secretary or your joint secretary is calling a meeting. It is held in your office. तो उनका साथ आप भी जाएंगे, मीटिंग आप भी अटेंड करेंगे, and you will take down notes and you will note down first thing, meeting कहाँ हुआ है, at what time, what date, in which place, under the chairmanship of who. तो ये सारा डिटेल आपको नोट करके रखना है because that will be there in the notice for the meeting. आप कोई मैसेज भेजे होंगे मीटिंग के लिए, उस मैसेज में से आपको ये डिटेल से उतार के रखना है. Then when you are accompanying the senior officer who has called for the meeting or he is chairing the meeting, so who attended the meeting? The representative of various departments must have attended. So first thing, whoever has attended as representative of different ministries, that list has to be prepared. Normally 4 or 5 people will be there. Suppose it's a long list is included, ऐसा करके छोड़ सकते हैं. So thereafter it will be in direct speech. अपने आप अपना डिपार्टमेंट का व्यूज डायरेक्टली बताया होगा. In this connection, my department is of the view that this proposal is not agreeable. It won't do any good thing for the government. So इसलिए we don't agree with the proposal. ऐसा करके कोई बोला होगा, दूसरा in support of the proposal बोला होगा. Whatever they have told, that will be in direct speech. कुछ question मिलने से भी, in case there is one question on drafting minutes, उसमें भी ये Mr. A spoke, told like this. A said, comma, inverted comma, ये क्या बोला था? B, representative of such ministry, said, comma, inverted comma, then. Likewise, it will be in direct speech. And when you summarize, you need not make exactly as indirect speech. You have to condense it. 3 times he might have participated in the discussion. You can club the Ministry of Agriculture, representative of the Ministry of Agriculture conveyed the views like this. And the other ministry, after having a threadbare discussion, the meeting unanimously decided to such and such. ऐसा everything, every masala तो आपको question में मिलेगा. With that, you will have to prepare this minutes. जैसे minutes का एक नमूना है. Normally, such drafts ought to be from the side of undersecretary or the section officer concerned. However, our answer should be as per the questions in the UPSC. UPSC में कैसा दिया जाता है question, उसका मुताबिक होना चाहिए. And you can make a small one line. You can say, as desired, draft minutes of such and such meeting are placed alongside for favor of approval, perusal and approval. ऐसा करके you can mark to JS. Then minutes में ज़्यादा format कुछ नहीं है. In the MOP, there is no format given. So you can put your number, Ministry of such and such, then the minute starts here. Minutes of meeting held in mini conference hall, wherever it is. It must be there in the question. If it is not, you can use in the conference hall, 4th floor, Shastri Bhavan, New Delhi. At what time? That is on such and such date, under the chairmanship of ABC's Joint Secretary of such and such ministry. So you will take all this, you will call out all these details from the question. Thereafter, under-mentioned are the other members who participated in the meeting. Members who participated must be there in the question. So from that, आप उतार के अगर नहीं दिया है, then 1 ABC, 2 BC, something like that. You can write. Thereafter, welcoming the participants to ABC, that is the chairman, under the chairmanship of ABC. So welcoming the participants, Sri ABC dash chairman of the meeting initiated the discussion on the points in the agenda and stated that. Thereafter, we will have to condense whatever discussed in the meeting. Then, considering the views expressed by participants, it is unanimously decided that such. Then thereafter, the meeting concluded with vote of thanks to the chair. Then under secretary sign karna hai to, that should be in the question. If it has to be signed by the SO, then that should also be in the question. Then you will put the signature and then you will not sign. You will say signed XYZ underscore such. So you will send that notes. So here, a meeting, minutes of one meeting that is given for your guidance. Then press communique we have seen, and I think we have corrected and sent. Press communique, I think we have corrected and sent. So this is already over. Circular, circular. This form of communication is not mentioned in the latest manual. उससे पहले वाला में था. Circular. Circular means डर नहीं जाना है. Circular is nothing but in format and the language. It's only office memorandum. At the most, you can write circular memorandum. If it is not clearly mentioned, they are asking you to draft a circular. That means you have to write only a office memorandum. That's all. This form of communication is not mentioned in the latest manual of office procedure. However, it seems there was a question of circular in exam this year, that is last year. If such a question appears in your exam, just the name is circular or circular memorandum, but the contents, language, formats are all as in office memorandum. Just like office memorandum, you are right. In the place center में आप लिखते हैं ना office memorandum, उस जगह you can write circular memorandum. Or if they specifically ask for circular, then you can write circular. That's all. Other language, it should be in the third person and no subscription or salutation. Then all just like office memorandum. Then this is a peculiar order which we have not seen. That is, theoretically, that is there in the notes. But practically, we have not seen such an order, because order or office order, it is not to be addressed to anyone, but you should be endorsed. Only that. That is the speciality of that form of communication. Whereas there is only one type of order, financial sanction, that is to be addressed to PAO. That is sanction of grant in aid or funds. Large scale funds are transferred from central government to state government. Generally, it is grant in aid. So in that case, just like a letter, a number, date, such and such, then full address, whatever is given in the question, then date, then date, thereafter to the pay and accounts officer of this ministry. जो भी ministry इधर government of India का दिया हुआ है, then that ministry, then full address. Address is not there, then pay and accounts officer dash dash. That's all. Two, whatever is given in the question, then sir, madam, then this is a language. I am directed. पता नहीं कि इन लोग कहाँ से MOP में ऐसा language नहीं है. Please refer to like that, or I convey ऐसा. So that is how it should be. Just नमूना आपको मिला. That is, we have sent it or I'll send it. So far, I think I have not sent it. So अगर नहीं है तो I'll send this copy. उसको एक दो बार नजर डालिएगा. Then this I don't think कभी क्वेश्चन में आया है. But you should be prepared. ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन आए, you should not be taken aback. ये तो ऑर्डर, ऑफिस ऑर्डर किसको एड्रेस नहीं करना है. Here it is addressed to somebody, so it should not surprise you. Show cause notice. Show cause notice, there is no format in the disciplinary proceedings book. स्वामी को एक मोटा किताब है disciplinary proceedings. उसमें भी ये this form is not given. Show cause notice. So show cause notice is created and shown to you. ये of course there is some vigilance manual. उसमें एक ऐसा show cause notice है. इसको ये देखिए, because last year in 2 examinations they asked for this show cause notice. इसलिए show cause notice को आप you have to see and you should be prepared for that. Nothing, we are all just like any other memorandum being issued to hearing official. It starts with confidential, then number, Government of India, Bharat Sarkar, Ministry such and such, New Delhi, then memorandum. This is where this memorandum is used. Only in disciplinary matters, this memorandum that is used. Otherwise, always office memorandum only. Whereas she so and so, designation such and such, is hereby informed that it is proposed to take action against him under Rule 14 of CCA Rules 1960. उसमें दिया होगा. In the question, it will be there, whether it is Rule 14 inquiry or Rule 16 inquiry. So that you have tried. Then a statement of imputation of misconduct and misbehavior on which action is proposed to be taken, as mentioned, is enclosed. Number 2, Sri so-and-so is hereby given an opportunity to make a representation showing cause. This is exactly what is required. This make a representation showing cause as to why disciplinary action, as mentioned above, should not be initiated against him. This is actually it indicates that it is a show cause notice. If Sri so-and-so fails to submit a representation within 10 days of receipt of this memorandum, it will be presumed that he has no representation to make and orders will be liable to be passed against Sri so-and-so ex parte. This sort of sentence you will find in suspension order. Then number 4, the receipt of this memorandum should be acknowledged by Sri so-and-so. Then signature of the authority, then to address. इसके नीचे एक चीज लिखना है, a statement of imputation of misconduct or misbehavior. इसके नीचे, that is enclosure, a statement of SIM, that is statement of imputations of misconduct and misbehavior. इसके नीचे एक blank statement of imputation of misconduct. Such ये लिख के dash dash कर देना. You need not write elaborate here. Okay, this format you should have in mind. That is show cause notice. It has come twice. It is this sanction order. Some more. Then now we are going to have tests on 12th. उसके बारे में कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन था. Instructions for test on noting, drafting and pre writing. इसको थोड़ा सा serious ले ले. You take it seriously and attend the test. तो किसी कारण से most of you have not submitted homework in many cases. But इस test को आप लेंगे 3 whether we are able to complete a paper with full précis, 1000 words ka précis and a number of questions. For the duration is 3 hours. Sit tight and write. Though it is you are attempting the test, you are sitting at home. Treat this as a real test. Give yourself that atmosphere and then attend the test so that and complete the paper by 1 o'clock. एक बजे बंद कर दीजिए लिखना. Then you forward it within 15 minutes. मेरे को ये forward कीजिएगा. I'll correct and return the papers so that you will know whether you are able to attend such a paper in given time. Time 10 to 1, Saturday, 12th. Then maximum marks 200. Your name and registration number must be written on the answer sheet. एक चीज याद रखना है, whatever instruction given here, that is writing your name. That should not happen in the UPSC examination. कभी गलती से भी आप अपना नाम कहीं नहीं लिखना है. So that may cost you very dearly. So इसलिए either this is applicable only for this test, class test. If not, it shall not be possible to evaluate and return. इसलिए आप अपना नाम लिखना तो homework में जैसे करते हैं ऐसा करना है. Please use A4 size white paper, no other notebook paper. Generally कहीं से भी एक long size note से एक फाड़ कर लिख देते हैं. Don't do that. White paper में लिखिएगा. Keep enough sheets ready. पहले से ही कितना, maybe you may require some 20-25 sheets. Keep about 30 sheets with you and question number must be mentioned. This is not only for here but also for real examination. So question number लिखना भूलना नहीं है. Page number must also be given. Sometimes paper either receive करने के समय, when you send the papers, answer papers to me, page number 9 comes first, page number 7 comes later. So to arrange these papers properly, you have to give the page number also. Précis writing should be written on the boxed sheet. कभी ऐसा one last exam of first test में कोई white paper लिख दिया, ऐसा we will not evaluate. You will have to write box. अगर इतना बोलने के बावजूद if you are not keeping the box sheet जो फोटोकॉपी करके नहीं रखे हैं, then at least draw by hand, box बनाकर उसमें लिखिएगा. It is better you use a boxed sheet जो मैंने नमूना दिया है उसको कॉपी करके रेडी रखिएगा. The specimen of which has already been provided to you. Some have downloaded. हाँ, ऐसा भी कोई करते हैं, that is UPSC साइट से डाउनलोड करके कुछ शीट उन लोग रखते हैं, तो ऐसा भी रख सकते हैं. In any case, आपको 2-3 items very essential. One, topic must be given. Then the number of words, it should be 1/3 of the main passage. Then at the end of it, you have to write how many words you have used. These things are very essential. And size is very, very important. 1/3. कुछ रद्दी जैसा भी हो. Yeah, if you have completed the passage within the given time and you complete the answer within the number of words to be used, 1/3, 5 words this side or 5 words that side. So that if this is there, if these rules are followed, that is topic, size, and then this thing, and only one word must be used in single box. Yes, ये देखना है. These are the basic rules. Draw a large margin in noting answer. वो कोई ऐसा करते नहीं है, वही वही अलाइन बच्चे थोड़ी हैं ऐसा सोच के, बट राइट, ड्रॉ a margin so that where to mark, the marking should be nearer the line. So at least for this purpose एक लाइन मार्क कीजिएगा. In all other cases leave reasonable margins on all sides. That is drafting में. Drafting में you need not draw a big margin on one side only. You have to leave space on all sides. Each answer to a question should start from a fresh page. Yeah, this is the same rule in UPSC also. एक क्वेश्चन 1.5 पेज में खत्म हुआ, देन उधर एक रेखा खींच के उसके नीचे ही नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन शुरू करते हैं. ऐसा मत कीजिएगा, ऐसा मत कीजिए. रूल इज इन द यूपीएससी एग्जाम एवरी फ्रेश क्वेश्चन शुड स्टार्ट फ्रॉम ए फ्रेश पेज. तो आप इधर भी उसको फॉलो कीजिएगा. यूज अप्रोप्रिएट पेन so that the printout would be legible and convenient for both of us. That is, आप भेजने से मेरे को भी ठीक कॉपी आना चाहिए, and when I correct and send it back, it should be a correct copy for you. So for that you use a dark ink. Answer paper should be sent by email before 1:15 p.m. in PDF form, so that I can understand that you completed the paper on time. This is the paper I have sent for Prissy. अगर इसको अब ये भी कॉपी करके रखें, so that will be fine. और टॉपिक में ये बॉक्स के अंदर टॉपिक लिखते हैं कोई, ऐसा नहीं लिखना चाहिए. ये शुड बी सेपरेटली रिटन एट द टॉप. यूपीएससी में आजकल सिविल सर्विस एग्जाम में बॉक्स ऊपर वाला लाइन में इस स्पेस में कुछ नहीं लिखना है, ऐसा लिखा है. सपोज द सेम वे इट इज रिटन, then you should not write that. Then in that case you can find the space here itself, topic इधर लिख सकते हैं. Suppose ऐसा एक बॉक्स इधर देखकर then उसमें UPSC says don't write anything in this box. In that case you have to obey that instruction. Okay. So this is 12th Saturday, noting and drafting test. Prissy writing should be answered in the box sheet. A question paper will be uploaded 15 minutes before the starting time. Answer sheet should be received here before 1:15. इसी तरह, what are the subjects to be covered? That is constitution. No, that is noting. Then 14th 7:30 to evening, जैसे हमारा क्लास होता है 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Monday. इसमें you please go through these notes. You can test yourself. Constitution, parliamentary procedure, government machinery, allocation of business, RTI, इतना तक तो भी thorough. Economy, 5-year plan, government program, पंचायत राज, जनरल नॉलेज, ये सारा मैं क्वेश्चन पेपर का रूप में जो देता हूँ. अदरवाइज 5 or 6 नोट्स जो देता हूँ. If at all you are able to cover this, you do it. Otherwise, don't bother. You answer all the questions from Constitution, parliamentary procedure, and the known areas. These are called up to RTI, all known areas. This economy, 5-year plan, government program, panchayat raj, etc. This may be, if you are lucky, only in 1 year, that is year 2000. Whatever I gave, that was seen in the paper, question paper, and people asked me whether I set up that question paper. I say, itna, the complete question was from my notes. I said that was only 1 year. It depends, much depends on your luck. And the 17th, that is 7:30 OE time, Thursday, paper rules. CCA conduct, pension pay rules, or SARA rule, plus office procedure. So that you don't fail to attend the test. Then what else? There are a few items not to be seen here. This is charge sheet. Here, at least you can hear me. Here, charge sheet. This has been asked. This charge sheet has been asked. You should, first of all, अगर चार्ज शीट के लिए आप तैयार रहना है, then CCA rules का clearly the two major penalty rule 14 को एक बार देखना है. Then only you will be. If you are very thorough with rule 14 inquiry, then इसमें लिखने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगा. Just to go through this, you will understand. The president oblique the undersigned. इसका मतलब क्या है? For whichever post the president is the appointing authority, then you will have to write the president. Suppose it is SSA, okay, some discipline proceeding against one SSA, then the appointing authority is the head of the department. So you need not write the president. Here you have to write the undersigned proposes to hold an inquiry against so-and-so, the person against whom we are going to conduct inquiry. Under Rule 14 of the Central Civil Services CCA Rules, 1965, the substance of the imputations of misconduct or misbehavior in respect of which the inquiry is proposed to be held is set out in the enclosed statement of Article 1. A statement of imputations and misconduct and misbehavior in support of each article of charge is enclosed in Annex 2. A list of documents by which and a list of witnesses by whom the articles of charge are proposed to be sustained are also enclosed. Annexes 3 and 4. Actually, these are very much there as a list in the notes. अब नोट्स पढ़ने से these are the 4 items to be included. चार्जशीट में जो 4 items इधर बताया गया है, that is statement of imputations of misconduct or misbehavior 1, then articles of charge 2, then list of witnesses through whom we are going to prove the case 3, and a list of documents by which we are going to prove the case, that is 4. All these are given here as annexure 1, 2, 3, 4. Then para 2, see so-and-so, that is against whom we are going to take action, is directed to submit within 10 days of the receipt of this memorandum a written statement of his defense, and also to state whether he desires to be heard in person. अगर inquiry face करना चाहते हैं तो ये है, or admit the charges. Number 3, he is informed that an inquiry will be held only in respect of those जिस चार्ज को आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं करते हैं in your written statement, only again on those counts, on those charges, inquiry will be held. 4, Sri so-and-so is further informed that if he does not submit his written statement of defense on or before the date specified in para 2, the 10 days time with the दिया हुआ जो on or before the date specified in para 2, or does not appear in person before the inquiry authority, अगर रिप्लाई नहीं भेजते हैं इस मेमो को, रिप्लाई अगर नहीं भेजते हैं चार्जशीट को, और इंक्वायरी शुरू हो गया लेकिन you are not appearing before this inquiring authority, or otherwise fails or refuses to comply with the provisions of Rule 14 of CCA rules or orders, directions issued in pursuance of the said rule, the inquiring authority may hold inquiry against him ex parte. Suppose आप reply नहीं देते हैं, reply Dekar, you are denying all the charges. Then also inquiry will be held. And you inquiry shuru hone ke baad, you are not following rules and regulations under this CCA rules. Then also inquiry will continue ex parte. So these are intimated to him in para 4. And last one, so far we have not seen this. Attention of Sri so-and-so is invited to Rule 20 of Conduct Rules. Rule 20 में क्या बोला है? Outside influence नहीं लियाना चाहिए on to pursue any of your case. So here also, attention of Sri so-and-so is invited to Rule 20 of Conduct Rules 64, under which no government servant shall bring or attempt to bring any political or outside influence to bear upon any superior authority to further his interest in respect of matters pertaining to his service under the government. If any representation is received on his behalf from another person in respect of any matter dealt with in these proceedings, it will be presumed that Sri so-and-so is aware of such representation and that it has been made at his instance, and the action will be taken against him for violation of Rule 20. Rule 20 conduct rule में क्या बोला है? You cannot bring pressure on the superior officers to pursue any of the case. Here, in this case, particularly, this is a disciplinary matter. On this, somebody is sending a paper in support of you. That means a recommendation or some such thing. A communication comes from anybody outside office. Then that will be construed that you are fully aware of this letter. आप बोल सकते हैं that I never knew. That person I know, but I never told him to send such a recommendation. आप कैसा भी बोले, ऐसा माना जाएगा. It has happened only with your knowledge. So on that count also, inquiry will be conducted. That is para 5. Then receipt of the memorandum will be acknowledged. Then here, signature ka jagah, if the appointing authority or discipline authority is the president, then this line you will keep by order in the name of the president. Suppose president is not, suppose एक JSA का against, एक constable का against एक case है, then in that case the president का नाम लेंगे नहीं, you will write only name and designation of the competent authority, whoever is given there, then to the person who is to be addressed. So that then whereas the president is that is number 1 in this line. This we have to retain only where the president is disciplinary authority. Number 2, the officer is the president of the disciplinary authority. Then नीचे लिखने के समय अब annexer 1 में क्या लिखेंगे? Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, that is whatever allegation you are going to make against which he is going to be inquired into, then that will be there in the annexer 1. That is articles of charge. Article detail लिखने का जरूरत ही नहीं है. Article 1, Article 2, Article 3 इतना लिखने से हो जाएगा. Then annexer 2 में क्या है? Statement of imputations. वो भी इधर article number 1, 2, 3 देने से इधर भी 1, 2, 3 देना चाहिए. Then suppose you have given 4 annexer article 4, then here that statement of imputations, misconduct, misbehavior, ये भी 4 होना चाहिए. Then annexer 3 में होगा क्या है? List of documents by which we are going to prove the case, that 1, 2, 3. Then now annexer 4 में क्या होगा? List of witnesses होगा. These are all very much there in the theory notes. तो उसको आपको बार-बार उसको पढ़ के तैयार रहना चाहिए. Then minor penalty का क्या format है? It is just in the form of memorandum. Minor penalty के लिए Rule 16 proceedings, उसमें simply you are going to proceed only under Rule 16. Minor penalty proceedings come under Rule 16. अगर Rule 16 का informal inquiry होता है, वो ये क्या है, inquiry officer, presenting officer, defense assistant, ये सारा नहीं होता है. So in that case, if you are going to conduct only Rule 16 inquiry, in that case, Sri so-and-so designation is hereby informed that it is proposed to take action against him under Rule 16 of CCA rules. A statement of imputations of misconduct or misbehavior on which action is proposed to be taken as mentioned above is enclosed. Only sim, there is no question of article. You have to note the difference. Then Sri so-and-so hereby given an opportunity to make a representation as he may wish to make against the proposal. एक मौका दिया जाता है, you can make a representation. Then with para 3, this is like the earlier case. If Sri so-and-so fails to submit representation within 10 days of the receipt of this memorandum, it will be presumed that he has no representation to make and orders will be passed against this so-and-so ex parte. Number 4, the receipt of the memorandum should be acknowledged. Then the same way, if the president is the disciplinary authority, then this line will be kept, or if it is under the powers of the competent authority, then it will be written here to Sri so-and-so, like that. Then this is also minor penalty proceedings का paper है ये, लेकिन difference is there. This is also Rule 16 inquiry, but the disciplinary authority feels that there should be a detailed inquiry under Rule 14. In that case, all the ingredients of the other major penalty proceedings, charge sheet जो है, उसका सारा मामला इधर आ जाएगा. Now you see this. This is minor penalty proceedings. Rule 16 का मुताबिक होना चाहिए, लेकिन disciplinary authority feels detailed inquiry abhi bhi kar lein, because there is a possibility, there is a hunch that it could turn out to be a major penalty proceeding. इसलिए ऐसा detailed inquiry होना चाहिए. Then in that case you have to use this language. In continuation of memorandum number, ये क्या memorandum है? That is, कोई भी minor penalty proceeding हो, you will first issue a memo to correct him. जो भी एरिंग ऑफिशियल है उसको करेक्शन करने के लिए एक मौका दिया जाता है, इसलिए 1 मेमो 2 मेमो 3 मेमोस भी देने के बाद इंक्वायरी के बाद आता है. In continuation of memo number such and such dated such and such issued under Rule 16 of CCA Rule 65, the president, whatever is applicable you have to cut, is the opinion that it is necessary to hold inquiry against so and so under Rule 16 1B of the CCA Rule 65. The substance of the imputation of misconduct or misbehavior in respect of which inquiry is proposed to be held is set out in the enclosed statement of articles of charge 1. A statement of imputations of misconduct or misbehavior in respect of each article of charge is enclosed. 2, Annexure 2. A list of documents by which and a list of witnesses by whom the articles of charge are proposed to be sustained are also enclosed. Annexure 3 and 4. This is just like the charge sheet in the major penalty proceedings. Number 2, Sri so-and-so is directed to submit within 10 days the receipt of the memorandum, a written statement of defense, and also to state whether he desires to be heard in person. आप अभी इसको एक्सेप्ट करते हैं ये चार्जेस को, या आप इंक्वायरी फेस करेंगे. Number 3, he is informed that inquiry will be held only in respect of those articles of charge and which are not admitted. He should therefore specifically admit or deny each article of charge. आपको ये जरूरी indicate करना है which article you are accepting, which you are not, because only against those articles of charge which have not been admitted by you, inquiries will be held. Number 4, Sri so-and-so is further informed that if he does not submit his written statement of defense before the date specified in para 2, or does not appear in person before the inquiry authority, or otherwise fails to or refuses to comply with the provisions of Rule 14 and 16 of CCA rules or the orders, directions issued in pursuance of said rule, the inquiring authority may hold inquiry. You have to be very clear about this. ये क्या है Rule 16 बोल के क्यों Rule 14 का language इस्तेमाल किया जाता है? Because the disciplinary authority feels that though it is only minor penalty proceeding, I wish there should be a detailed inquiry against this fellow. So we have to conduct inquiry under Rule 14. Isliye. Then this violation of Rule 20, that is a caution. You are cautioning the delinquent official that bringing extraneous pressure over the superior officers in connection with this case, that will amount to another offense, violation of Rule 20 of CCS conduct rules. The receipt of the memorandum will be acknowledged. So this is how it should be. Note में 2 address के बाद note में annexer 1 to 4, as in the case of charge sheet, इसको फिर इधर नहीं दिया गया है, लेकिन चार्ज शीट में कैसे दिया है? Annexer 1 में क्या होना चाहिए? Annexer 2 में क्या होना चाहिए? That is Annexer 1 में articles of the statement of imputations, Annexer 2 में articles of charge, Annexer 3 में the list of witnesses, then Annexer 4 में list of documents. ये सारा कुछ होना चाहिए इधर. That is how it should be. Appointment of inquiry order. This is in the form of order. You have to note this. Here it is only memorandum. ऊपर ये भी मेमोरेंडम, वो उसके ऊपर चार्जशीट जो है वो भी, that is also the memorandum. Whereas the appointing of inquiry officer or presenting officer, that should be in the form of order. Order means the same format, that is number, Government of India, जो भी department ये सारा कुछ, then order. Whereas an inquiry under Rule 14 of the CCA rules is being held against Sri so and so, name and designation of the government servant. वो क्वेश्चन का मुताबिक इधर नाम भरना है या ये भी सी लिखना है, वो है. And whereas the president or the undersigned considers that an inquiry authority should be appointed to inquire into the charges framed against the said Sri so and so. Now, therefore, the president or the undersigned is in exercise of the powers conferred by sub-rule 2 of the said rule, hereby appoints so and so, name and designation of the person who is appointed as inquiry officer, as the inquiry authority to inquire into the charges framed against this said so and so. Then the copy government servant को जिसके अगेंस्ट इंक्वायरी है उसको देना है. Then inquiry officer जो अपॉइंट किया जाता है इसमें according to this order उसको देना है. Then copy to the authority, name and designation of the lending authority, in case, that is, suppose you are taking action, you propose to take action against a person, an official who has come on deputation, then lending authority को भी एक copy देना है. Then appointment of presenting officer. This is although similar format you have to go through. Okay. So this is. Okay. Oh. One second. Okay. This is one more item we have to discuss. Then there will be negative marking. Yes, I should have told that. in the paper 1 and paper 2, that is general studies, and that is, it will be there in the question. In the question paper, it will be that is against whom the inquiry. Inquiry is conducted against whom. His name should be incorporated there. You have to write his name. That is against whom this inquiry is being held. Then about the negative marking, yes, 1/3 of mark will be, suppose you have earned 60 right answers and some 12 questions you wrongly marked, or two places you have marked. In such cases, you will lose 1/3 of the wrong answers. That is 12 wrong answers. 1/3 means 4 marks you lose. So negative marking is there in paper 2, paper 1 and 2. Paper 3 में negative marking नहीं है, लेकिन in case you are writing a bad hand, the handwriting बहुत बुरा है, in that case the 5% of mark will be reduced. 5 marks will be reduced. So once again. Then, now, please see this chart sheet we have seen. Cabinet note. This is a cabinet note. Very rarely we get a question on cabinet note. Cabinet note means, first of all, theory question में ये portion आता है. This portion, that at least for theory you have to study this. That is, on what cases a reference or the approval of the cabinet or cabinet committee is required. What is the rule? Transaction of Business Rules, 1961. Uska mutabik, see, we'll go from the first. While a significant portion of government business gets disposed of at the department level, certain cases or classes of cases that are important from the national perspective require approval of the cabinet or one of the cabinet committees. The cases that require approval of the cabinet are indicated in the second schedule, and those requiring approval of the cabinet committees are indicated in the first schedule of the Transaction of Business Rules, 1961. Some of the illustrative cases are required to be placed before the cabinet are types of cases which are to be placed before the cabinet for approval. 1. Cases involving legislation, including the issue of ordinances. Suppose President Sabka Dwara, when both the houses are not in session, if you are getting an ordinance issued by the president, promulgated by the president, then that case has to be placed before the cabinet. Then, proposal to appoint public commissions and committees. So, आप resolution को question में commission committee appoint करने के बारे में आप देखे थे, that sort of commission committee, if it is to be appointed, then this proposal has to be approved by the cabinet. Then consideration the report of such commission. Suppose आप एक पे कमीशन का रिपोर्ट पे कमीशन अपॉइंट करते हैं, अपॉइंट करने से पहले कैबिनेट में रख के अप्रूवल लेना चाहिए. देन अपॉइंट करके 18 महीने के बाद वो जब पे कमीशन रिपोर्ट आएगा, then that also has to be placed. Any report by Commission of Inquiry, then that has to be placed before the cabinet. Proposals relating to creation of post at level of joint secretary to the government of India or higher. Suppose JS post से higher post को appoint करना, create करना एक post, then that has to be approved by the cabinet. Cases in which a difference of opinion arises between two or more ministries and a cabinet decision is decided. Suppose some decision taken by ministry A is not in agreement with the ministry B. So दोनों ऐसा ministry के powers में or authority में or any other matter, the two ministries may not see eye to eye. In such cases, once and for all, a decision has to be taken. Then it should go to the cabinet. Then proposals to vary or reverse a decision previously taken. Cabinet decision के मुताबिक कुछ मामला चल गया है, then you want to get it reversed. Suppose you want to modify, then in that case, to review and revise the earlier order of the same cabinet, then it has to be placed before the cabinet. The proposals concerning country's security, that is cabinet committee on security के पास जाएगा. Then कोई finance economic affairs के बारे में cabinet committee on economic affairs को जाएगा. Then all infrastructure projects costing about 300 crore, they have to be placed before cabinet committee on infrastructure. So these are all items to be considered by the cabinet or cabinet committee. Then format and presentation. ये इसमें इतना detailed instruction दिया हुआ है, कैसा start करना है, कैसा पेज नंबरिंग कैसा है, font size क्या है, कौन सा पेपर में कितना line space कितना होना चाहिए, ये सारा कुछ है. Just we may rush through. Cabinet note is prepared in specific format. ये किस लिए है? This detail you have to go through. Essentially, you have to go through. Why? Because a rare question may be there on cabinet note. Very rare question. So far, I have seen and only twice, I think. There's such a question, but it may come. Honestly, you have to know what should be your answer, whether you have to attempt that question at all. If at all you are attempting such question, you should attempt at the end, because time कम हो सकता है. You may condense some of the items. So इसके लिए last में attempt करना है. लेकिन इसके अलावा एक बाई प्रोडक्ट है इसको पढ़ने पर, that is self contained note. ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है, बार बार आता है. सेल्फ कंटेंट नोट, इसके बारे में कोई मामला देकर इसके बारे में ड्राफ्ट है सेल्फ कंटेंट नोट. तो ऐसा सेल्फ कंटेंट नोट को कहीं एमओपी में कहीं भी मॉडल नहीं है. सो वेयर फ्रॉम ओनली दिस कैबिनेट नोट इज द मॉडल. दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू राइट ए सेल्फ कंटेंट नोट. तो इसलिए इसको देखना जरूरी है. Cabinet note is prepared in a specific format, in A4 size paper. The note is to be made both in English and Hindi. Both versions are to be sent to the Cabinet Secretariat together. It should be typed on both sides of the paper in double space in Arial font size for 12 to 14. मोटा अक्षर में होना चाहिए. Arial font size में होना चाहिए. Arial font में होना चाहिए, मोटा अक्षर में होना चाहिए. 12 और 14 ये font size उसमें होना चाहिए. Then the typing impression should be legible and clear in all pages. तो ये जो है, it should be readable, it should be legible. Note should not exceed 7 to 8 pages. Cabinet note है, लेकिन it should not exceed 7 to 8 pages. Other details, अगर इससे भी detail कैबिनेट कंसिडरेशन के लिए रखना है, उसको अनेक्सर में डालना चाहिए. या वाइड मार्जिन नॉट लेस देन 1.5 इंच. ये सारा कुछ माइन्यूट डिटेल्स दिया हुआ है. 1.5 इंच should be left towards that edge of the paper, that is left edge on the upwards and the right edge on the reverse side of it, just like our note sheet. नोट शीट में लेफ्ट साइड में फर्स्ट पेज में लेफ्ट साइड में मार्जिन, देन नेक्स्ट में राइट साइड में इसी तरह होना चाहिए. देन नोट्स आर टू बी securely graded, no, security graded. The notes are to be security graded, secret, top secret. Normally, secret at the top, secret at the bottom. ये दोनों जगह secret होना चाहिए. All proposals to be brought before the cabinet committee are to be classified at least as secret depending on the content. Copy number, this is a specialty. Copy number should be there. It should be indicated on the right hand side top, first page of the note. Then below that, in the center, the file number and the name of the sponsoring ministry department का नाम center में आएगा, number, then ministry's name. Below that, on the right hand corner of the first page, you go to the note proper. देखिए, this is that in this format, first secret, then उसी पेज में last secret, ये है. So page में top and bottom you should write the secret, then copy number, then number, Ministry of Department of New Delhi, the date of the note, date of the note, that is the note is signed on particular date, that date should be there. Then center में just like office memorandum, note for the cabinet. Then subject matter, brief subject matter, crisp. Then introduction, 3-4 lines में, 3-4 sentence में, this introductory paragraph must be there. Thereafter, background should be there as brief as possible. You have to give the background. Then proposal, कौन सा है? Well, what for this proposal? उसके बारे में detail, actual proposal का detail. Then justification, rationale of the proposal may be brought out in this part of the note. Interministerial consideration, that certain cases before the note is sent here, cabinet note, then just like आपका legislation जो है, legislative proposal भी cabinet note के द्वारा ही आता है, that we have already seen how a bill becomes an act. उसमें first approval by the that is basic approval by the Ministry of Law. Thereafter, this approval by the minister proper. Then thereafter, a cabinet note that comes. In that, you will have to indicate kaha opinion of Ministry of Law, opinion of Ministry of Finance, etc., etc. Like that, interministerial consultation के बारे में इसमें अब 5th पैरा में इसमें mention करना चाहिए. Then financial implication, if at all financial implication है, so it should be shown to Department of Expenditure. That fact has to be indicated. Then approval paragraph, कौन सा चीज अब किसके लिए ये नोट उधर आ रहा है? कैबिनेट नोट, आप कैबिनेट से किस पॉइंट पे अप्रूवल चाहते हैं? That should be the approval paragraph is the most crucial paragraph containing the proposal on which consideration and approval of the cabinet or cabinet committee is solicited. It should be a self-contained paragraph and drafted with clarity and precision, leaving no scope for ambiguity or differing interpretations. वो crisply क्या चाहते हैं? What do you want the cabinet to approve? वो इसमें होना चाहिए. The statement of implementation schedule. ऐसा एक कैबिनेट डिसीजन हो गया तो कैसा इंप्लीमेंट होगा, उसके लिए एक फॉर्मेट है, उसमें अनेक्सर 1 में that has actually this is the cabinet note. इसका first enclosure that implementation schedule. Then you have to state the fact in the last paragraph, approval of the minister in charge. The last paragraph should indicate about the approval of the minister in charge to the proposals contained in the note. ये है cabinet note. Then specimen of implementation schedule, ये कैसा होना चाहिए, ये है. And a press note, press brief, that is cabinet note भेजने के समय you have to enclose annexure 2, that is as if this proposal will be approved by the cabinet. You have to think like that and make a press briefing. Press briefing का एक नोट बनाना चाहिए. कौन सा फॉर्मेट में? This is the format. Then forwarding memorandum. This you have to go through again and again, because they may not ask cabinet note proper, but this memorandum they may ask, because these you go through this, you will understand. Here, this address portion you have to mug up, and cabinet secretariat within bracket director cabinet, room number 12, राष्ट्रपति भवन, न्यू दिल्ली 4, ऐसा इसको address करना चाहिए. And the signature should not be by an officer below the rank of joint secretary. ये होना चाहिए. Then here, if you see, undersigned is directed to enclose copies of note, that is both Hindi and English versions, on the above mentioned subject for consideration of a cabinet consideration हो या cabinet committee के, दोनों एक है. नोट भी cabinet consideration के लिए भी, cabinet committee consideration के लिए भी, format is the same. It is informed that the ministries, departments and the Prime Minister's office have been consulted at the draft stage. That is, first एक draft भेजना चाहिए cabinet secretary को. उसमें ये mention करना है, in this draft stage we have forwarded a copy to the Prime Minister's office. PMO से 7 working days को wait करना चाहिए, उसके बाद ही इसको cabinet secretary को भेजना है. Since the proposal does not have any financial implications, stipulated period, अगर financial implication होने से draft से main finalize करने का 1 महीना ले सकते हैं, 4 weeks. If there is no financial implication, you can take 15 days. A copy of the final note had been forwarded to PMO on such and such date. PMO को इतना तारीख को भेज दिया गया है ये ड्राफ्ट प्रपोजल कैबिनेट नोट, लेकिन अभी तक रिप्लाई नहीं आया है. 7 working days after sending the final note to PMO lapsed on such and such date. Then no comments have been received from PMO on the subject. Or एक तो ऐसा हो सकता है, no comments from PMO ऐसा भी हो सकता है, और PMO से comments आ गया है. That is, the comments received from PMO have duly been taken into account while finalizing the note. A copy of the final note had also been sent to the cabinet secretary on the day it was sent to PMO. So ये fact mention करना है. Then a tabular statement indicating the views, comments of PMO and action taken there. Suppose PMO से reply आया, कुछ comments आया, उसको ऊपर modification करना होता है, ये note for the cabinet, उसमें accordingly modifications have been carried out. Then 6, it is also stated there are no differences on the proposals with consulted ministries department. हम लोग जो ड्राफ्ट प्रपोजल जो बनाया है, ड्राफ्ट नोट बनाया है, उसको that is in agreement with the other ministries consulted, कोई difference नहीं था. Then the concerns expressed by other ministries, suppose there were differences, हम लोग नोट जैसा बनाया, they have expressed some reservations, they have been addressed, they have been corrected in the main note. It is requested that the note may be placed before the cabinet or cabinet committee at an early date, or there is urgency for consideration. Then you have to write why. What are the urgencies for which you want this cabinet note to be placed in the first meeting? तो उसी में place किया जाए. The why. What is the urgency? Then you will have to sign. Then here, this is the address to which you have to send. So these things you have to have in mind. इसको दो चार बार इसको नजर डालिएगा. It is very essential. And what time the PC should be completed? Statement of imputation. So, what time the PC has to be completed, that we have discussed. And suppose there is only 30 marks, you have to do it in 30 minutes. Suppose the PC has 40 marks, you should do it in 40 marks. लेकिन एक बात है, PC करते करते always it is not possible to complete in 40 minutes. कभी कभी थोड़ा delay हो जाता है. Sometimes you call for another paper. प्रिसी का शीट अगर खत्म हो गया, you can ask for in the exam, UPSC exam hall. ये suppose इसमें कलिंग युद्ध जैसा काटा फूटा बहुत ज्यादा हो गया, then you want to rewrite, then you can ask for a special sheet again. तो एक नया शीट लेकर उसमें कॉपी कर सकते हैं. कुछ लोग ये भी क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, हम एक ड्राफ्ट लिखे तो इसमें कॉपी करें, आपका मर्जी. If you are so confident that you will be able to complete the paper on time, then you do rough work. And tell you the secret, this is not my advice. I'll tell you one secret. In my exam, when I appeared in the exam, I did this. I had very good writing practice. Every day before I going to bed, I used to write a précis. And लिख के एक बार पढ़ने के बाद फाड़ के उधर डस्टबिन में डालता, देन उसके बाद आई वेंट टू बेड. तो ऐसा प्रैक्टिस था मेरे को, राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस बहुत ही अच्छा था. देन इन द प्रिसी आई वेंट टू द बुकलेट, तो मिला है ना, बुकलेट में आई वेंट टू द लास्ट पेज. आई डिडंट आस्क फॉर एक्स्ट्रा पेपर. ऑन द लास्ट पेज आई रोट द प्रिसी रफली, ठीक नंबर पर बैठा था, and only 2 words here and there काट के उसको ऐसे कॉपी कर लिया. This is always not possible. कभी you will lose time. इसलिए I am cautioning, ऐसा काम मत कीजिएगा. लेकिन if you are very confident, that's different. Otherwise, it's not advisable. So, and what time the précis should be completed within 40 minutes. Normally, the marks given for précis 40 marks, 40 minutes में complete. Suppose 40 क्रॉस कर गया, don't get panic. You do it patiently, you complete, because it is very, very worthy question. काफी कुछ, that is प्रिसी में एक चीज आप ऐसे you can understand, you have to think, that is प्रिसी आपका एक प्लेटर में रख के आपको एक पैसेज दिया जाता है. You are going to reduce it into 1/3. एक्सपर्ट रिडक्शन हो सकता है, ऑर्डिनरी कंप्यूटर रिडक्शन हो सकता है, लेकिन 1/3 में बनाना है. तो मामला आपका हाथ में दिया जाता है, उसमें 1/3 आप बनाए जा रहे हैं. सपोज इट इज ड्राफ्टिंग, इट इज नोटिंग, आपको क्रिएट करके लिखना होता है. यू हैव टू यूज योर ब्रेन. इसमें इतना ज्यादा रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. ओनली थिंग कंडेंसिंग करना, ठीक तरह से करना, एंड साइज मेंटेन करना. So that 40 minutes में complete करना है. Then charge sheet on major penalties format, we have to remember accordingly. Remembering, Sony Singh, remembering format is very, very easy. आप आज होने से, if it is possible today, you go through, or at least once you go through and then go to sleep. Then कल 2-3 बार उसको देखिएगा. It is so easy. It's so easy. Charge sheet का remember करना, because theory you have already studied and you are putting it in practice. Practically you are drafting. तो theory से हटकर नहीं है. It is in accordance with the theory. इसलिए आपको कोई दिक्कत नहीं होगा. Concentrate, full concentration का साथ 1 या 2 बार देखिएगा, perfect, easy है. It is not the case with the cabinet note. Cabinet note थोड़ा सा concentration और चाहिए, complete concentration चाहिए. But charge sheet ऐसा नहीं है. It is easy. आप go through करिए, and so you prepare yourself for that. Best of luck to you for all these 3 tests. देखेंगे. Good night. Even tomorrow you can, there won't be any class tomorrow. You will come straight tomorrow. That what is that? Ayudha Puja, Saraswati Puja, important puja for them. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, मद्रासी लोग, किताब कलम जो भी है उसको हम पूजा में रख देते हैं, उसको इस्तेमाल नहीं करते हैं. ये कंप्यूटर वगैरह साफ करके उसको तिलक लगा कर पूजा कर लेते हैं. So tomorrow we will not use these items. इसलिए कल छुट्टी है. Day after tomorrow you are going to write the noting drafting test. Okay, good night, all the best to you.